So, here we are. Oh, wait. Okay.
You don't want to be like Mike?
Mike who?
Doug. It's it's an expression.
Oh, be like Mike?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to break these. Okay. Okay, we're ready.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Talk Story
Hey.
Unscripted. There you are.
Yeah. Wait, where's the camera?
Oh, gosh. Hey, guys. Today we're here to talk about a really unique, special thing that we have coming to Hawaii.
And that is, don't get up too early? Because, man, it's early. What are we doing here?
I know. And there's a marathon going outside. I don't even know
And it's a
what...
holiday, but we won't say what holiday is because we don't want to
That's
make
true.
this a timely thing.
Exactly. You don't
But
want
it's not Christmas, I'll tell you that right now.
or Easter.
Yeah.
Or Halloween. That's not a holiday. Halloween's
No,
not a holiday.
Halloween's not a
Okay,
holiday.
Mess that up.
No.
But there is a marathon outside, and we do have a prophecy conference coming up very soon.
Yes,
On
that'll
the
be a
Big
huge
Island.
holiday.
Yeah.
When it happens. Yeah.
Take a holiday to go to this conference. It's February 28th and 29th. I just dated us.
Yes.
Nonetheless, it's happening at that point.
Yes.
And I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be on the island, the big island of Hawaii. For those of you who are not familiar with Hawaii, there actually is one island, and it's actually named Hawaii.
Right.
Or Hawaii.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest island and the newest island. Isn't that interesting? It's the newest island.
That is
Did
interesting.
you know that?
So, and you could fit all the other islands inside of
No, I did not.
the Big
know
Island.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of like Texas.
Wow.
Doesn't make any
there.
sense.
So we're gonna find people like local kind people with big hair.
People,
Texas.
are you saying Texas people have big hair?
Oh yeah, totally. Big hair, a lot of makeup.
I think that's just
You don't
80s.
know that?
I thought that was just the 80s.
No, the 80s is still there. Texas is.
Texas
No
is
offense.
stuck
I
in
mean,
the
not that
80s.
anybody I know
Oh,
from Texas
gosh.
is like that.
Everyone in
but-
Texas is gonna hate this podcast.
Yeah. Okay, we are so off the track
gosh.
here.
So tell me, Pete, what kind of gear are we going to be using? I know you've been working a lot on the setup for filming
Not enough, but yes.
the Endure
I'm in
conference.
trouble.
Tell me what kind of setup do we have for it?
Well, we're actually going to be shooting with 3 cameras. And when you're doing a live event and you want to have 3 we're using 3 cameras right now, so it's pretty much the same kind of thing.
Right.
But we'll have camera guys on each camera,
Right.
and just to get different angles of the actual event. So it's going to be fun, and they're all going to be this camera here, this one here.
The beautiful
And,
Black Magic.
Yes. And
Wish it was less of a voodoo name for our
I
awesome
know,
camera,
but it's a
whatever.
great camera. Australian. My wife is Australian.
This is
so-
an Australian camera?
Well, the company that produces it is an Australian company.
Oh, g'day, mate.
Yeah, okay, that's no.
No?
No.
You don't do that.
Okay, no.
Okay.
So
Went there once.
yeah, so we're gonna be shooting with 3 cameras, and there will be a director, and each of us are gonna play around, and you get to be a director, I get to be a director, and
I'm
basically,
excited.
director is someone who calls the shots and says, "Hey, camera 3, could you fix that?" You know, that kind of thing. Could you zoom in? Can you zoom out? Get a
Right.
wide shot? That kind of stuff. So
We're going to have the
uh,
headsets.
yeah,
We're
well,
gonna
they're
have
kind of
the-
pseudo headsets, but we'll see how we go.
And we're going to have the switcher. You're getting the switcher?
Yes, there's switchers. So there's actually somebody, the director is switching between the different cameras.
So
So yeah,
fun.
so it should be good. But the
Yes.
cool thing, I mean, that's all great and everything, but the cool thing is the content. You know, it's
Mm.
called the Endure Conference, and it's not like a sports conference with a name like Endure. You know, it's like
Right.
So
Keep
what do you-
going.
so you know more about it than I do as far as who's speaking.
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of really big name speakers, and it's a really exciting thing for me. I was looking into some of the speakers right off the top. Pastor Jack Hibbs, who is closely connected with Call TV,
Yeah.
he's awesome. He is a huge forerunner in bringing attention to Bible prophecy, and he's heard all around the world. I was hearing it. He's
Yeah.
got satellite stuff everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, and then a couple other different guys that really stood out to me. One is a guy named Brent Miller Jr., and he is the founder and executive director of a Christian production company called Ingenuity Films.
All right.
And his focus, and I love this, his focus is to help the world to see the Bible through a correct lens, because he spent a lot of years at MTV and other different affiliates, and he saw how the worldly perspective was really watering down the Bible, giving with the way the world looks at the Bible, fluffy fairy tale,
Yeah.
can't understand it, it's not true, blah 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 blah. So his passion is to help people to see the clarity of the Bible as it really is, using eschatology, which is the study of
bugs.
I know. I feel so silly. I didn't even know what eschatology meant until this prophecy conference. It means the study of the end times.
Right.
Eschatology, and also using apologetics.
Yeah.
And he does it in a really good way. I've only seen a few of his clips from The Coming Convergence, which is one of his films that he made about Bible prophecy.
Right.
And it's so clean. It's so crisp. It's so good. You know, I feel a little jaded, but I've experienced some Christian media in the realm of prophecy in the past, and I felt like it was so, I don't want to say cheesy, but it just didn't feel very good. I don't know if you've experienced that, but
yeah.
But this is really good. I really enjoyed it. It's really captivating, and he's got multiple speakers. Pastor Jack Hibbs being one of them. Pastor J.D. Farag from Calvary Chapel Kaneohe also
this is
being one.
in the video.
Yeah, in the video. And he does it in a really clean way, a really clear and a very modern feel and take that I think audiences will really be attracted to.
Oh, that's cool. So he's one of the speakers.
He's one of the speakers.
That's great.
We also have Lance Ralston. He's another pastor. A lot of these guys are from California. He actually does a podcast also on church history, which
cool.
I think is awesome because I know nothing about the church history from 100 AD to 1985, the day I was born, AD. So he does podcasts on that and talks about church history, which I'm super excited.
Church history is awesome. I actually had to teach. Not had to. I got to. I got to teach a course on church history.
Really?
And I had to study up and understand what it was about, and it was really interesting. It's interesting to see. Probably the most interesting thing was to see when the church was most influential and when it was most dead. And it was usually. When it was most influential was when it was going through persecution and stuff like that.
Interesting.
They had, it's where the rubber meets the road.
Right.
And then where it was really, I don't want to say the word dead, but just kind of falling into the ways of the world and not really being effective in any way was when it was prospering. When there was a lot of good stuff going on.
Interesting.
And it's just really interesting to see that. But there's a whole lot more, of course.
Right,
but that's a big takeaway.
Interesting pattern.
Yeah.
Almost like Israel in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just looking into different things for the Kavaihau, the bicentennial of the Christian missionaries first coming to Hawaii.
The documentary you're working on. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was looking into some of the history of why they came. They came in 1820, which is in the middle of the Second Great Awakening in America.
Yes, the Great Awakening, yeah.
Right. And so there was 4 Great Awakenings that we have listed in America.
Yeah.
And
I think, actually, right now, today, this moment is a great awakening.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm awake. So that's a good thing. Okay, go on. Sorry. I'm just being smart. It's not working. I'm just trying to keep you up.
I know. That's a hard
For
time.
those of you who don't know, Doug had a bad night.
I know. My daughter wasn't feeling very good, so she was up and about. But she's sleeping good now. And I'm like, it's okay. It's part of fatherhood. But anyway, the Great Awakenings, there's 4 of them that were listed. I guess there's 4 in American history. I sound like a goof to say this, but it was really interesting. The time gap between each awakening was about 30-year period. So you'd have a Great Awakening, and then the next one happened in 30 years. And then a Great Awakening, and the next one happened in 30 years.
That's interesting, yeah.
And I think that the 4th one was during the time of the Jesus revival.
The Jesus People movement.
The Jesus People movement, yes.
Right.
I'm pretty sure because it lists from 1960 to 1980, something like that.
Yeah, that would be about right. That's kind of my time.
Right.
I was 2 months old when I got saved. No, I'm joking. 1975, 6, 19. Yeah, and it was kind of the end, the big awakening was just after all the hippie stuff, 69, 70. I had 2 older sisters, and so I was kind of connected to that, seeing it and watching all that stuff. It was a crazy time. But yeah, then all of a sudden there was this great revival in Southern California. It was where it started. And that's kind of where Christian music came from. And some of the first bands, it was crazy listening to these rock bands that were great. They were just awesome, and they were singing about scriptural things, about the Bible, about Jesus and that.
Right.
So yeah, and everybody's walking into church barefoot, long hair, beards, everything.
love
And
it.
yeah, it was really an amazing time. And I was kind of a young person, younger than those guys, and I'd come in and yeah.
I remember hearing stories about Chuck Smith, and people were like, yeah, we can't let the hippies in. We're wearing no shoes. And he said, well, let's tear up the carpet. If you're so worried about the carpet with bare
Let's
feet.
tear it up. Yeah, let's just, yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was a great
You
time.
you were around during a really interesting season, and the stuff you've talked about with different Christian music, I have benefited from the fruit of that time, of emerging in Christian music.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really great to see, over the years what God has done.
Wow.
I mean, I'm wondering, speaking about Bible prophecy. So, Bible prophecy obviously relates to, well, there's a lot of prophetic stuff in the Word of God, but this specifically is talking a lot about the end times, and everybody wants to know. My son, I remember, he's 15 years old, and he's always talking about the zombie apocalypse. When is this going to happen? And like everybody's waiting for it. Even look at our culture today. You look at the games out there. It's a gazillion-dollar industry, and if you look at most of these games, what are they? They're apocalyptic games.
That's
People
a really
are
good
wanting
point.
to just, hey, when are we going to get there? It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Why are we
and
thinking
movies
that?
too, you got
absolutely.
I Am Legend, World War Z.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plethora.
Yeah. Not to say that there are zombies in Bible prophecy, but there are definitely some scary things that happen.
Yeah.
And
Give me that.
and there's some incredible things. It's not. I think the thing that we have to remember is Bible prophecy is not a scary thing. But it's going to happen. It's kind of like, as a matter of fact, Jesus used it as a woman who's pregnant. And it's very much like that. I remember hearing from women that I know, they get to the point where they're ready to have the baby, and at the end they go, I don't want this baby. I don't want it. Because they don't want to go through the pain. Right.
Yeah.
And Bible prophecy is a lot like that. But the birth of that, what comes out of that, everything will come to fruition. And it's really it's amazing that Jesus used it. He really knows what he's talking about. Jesus,
no kidding, right? Who would have thought?
Talk about a storyteller, right?
Seriously.
And he's really good. But when I think about Bible prophecy, it's very much there seems to be, and Romans 8 talks about that, like all the world, even creation, is in birth pains. We're waiting for that. So it's a really interesting thing to really put in the forefront of our Christian faith.
When you talk about making it real, there was another speaker, his name is Jay McCarl, and he does like Israel tours. He's done like over 40 tours for people to Israel.
Yeah.
And he was standing, I was watching this one YouTube video. He's standing with a group that he has taken on tour, and he's standing at the Jezreel Valley, which is where Armageddon is going to take place.
Yeah.
Which is a Bible prophecy.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this, and I'm just seeing this valley, and it's beautiful. Beautiful
it is
valley.
beautiful, yeah.
And I've never been there. I want to go so bad.
Yeah.
And
We'll get there. We should do a podcast.
Oh my God!
Let's make it happen, okay? We'll
Please.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this valley, going, "Wow, this is where it's going to happen." And he's mentioning all these different stories of things that had happened in the Bible that happened here. Gideon, stuff with Deborah, different people in the Bible, and I'm like, and he's standing in Solomon's palace, and I'm like, it gives me chicken skin. I'm just like, this is amazing, and it helped to bring me
up to speed and
there
in that place
exactly, and to be more like not wanting to put Bible prophecy to the side, but to recognize and see this is reality. It's right there. This is where it's going to take place. I can see the actual place where the Bible says it's going to happen. Not this fluffy thing.
It's something exactly.
Right. Not this faraway place. So.
Yeah. No, it's great. Bible prophecy is pretty amazing, and there's so much to it. It's really hard to kind of encompass it. So this conference will be great because we'll have basically a day and a half of it, and it's great that Ron, who's pastor at Calvary Hilo, is putting it on.
Right.
Yeah. So February 28th
and 29th.
That's a Friday, Saturday.
On the Big Island.
You can go to the website. It's on the screen right now.
Yep.
And really want to encourage you guys to go and meet up. We'll be there.
Yeah.
And, I was telling you earlier before we started, we should try and do a podcast there.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Maybe after it's all over.
Heck
because we're going to be running around pretty crazy. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be your boss.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to what I have to say.
That's a prophecy. We're going to be
It's
running like
prophetic.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
You know, one last thing I want to say is, you know, I was talking about the different Great Awakenings, and the last one was something like the 1960, 1980. 2020, we are 40 years from the last Great Awakening. There was like 30 years years between each one. So, you know, when you said jokingly that we're in the midst of another Great Awakening, we almost are on like due
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah.
If you look back at the history.
Well, it does say that in the last days, you know, that God will pour out His Spirit one last time.
And prophecy to me, you know, it's telling the future. And if I, you know, as being an unbeliever, seeing somebody tell the future, you go, okay, there's what's going on here?
Yeah.
This is something unique because you can't tell the future unless you are something bigger than this world.
As a matter of fact, I believe it's in Isaiah, God points out, He goes, hey, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah.
Because I want to prove to you that I am God,
That's
that
good.
I am outside of our constraint of time.
That's good.
You know, and that's what prophecy is. It's about showing you and telling us as people on earth, hey, this is going to happen. And so far, everything has been coming to fruition, and even more so. It's just, and there's so much, too much for us to cover. But
I'm excited to learn more at this prophecy conference.
no, you're not going to learn because we're going to be busy.
I want to learn. We got to film it so I can see it.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to see it after
I
because
know.
I'm going to be yelling at you.
I
Doug,
know. That's all I'm going to hear.
focus your camera, Doug.
I know.
Focus your camera.
It's like, I want to hear prophecy, but I
Yeah.
can't because I hear Pete
Well,
yelling
no,
at me.
no, we'll be getting a lot of it for sure.
Yeah,
but
I'm excited.
And it's going to be great. And not only are we doing the Bible prophecy, the speaking portions of it, but we're going to do some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And you're responsible for that. So if you mess up, that's your deal.
No big deal,
So
no big
yeah,
deal.
we're going to be able to interview
Do a good job.
pastors.
Do a good job.
Do a good job. I was like, what are you talking about? I thought you were doing Japanese or
Oh,
something.
no. Little Jim Carrey. I watched Sonic the Hedgehog, which I highly recommend.
No, you don't highly recommend.
I can't do that on camera?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
I told you, we're not doing that.
I don't highly recommend, but you should go see it. I'm a
Sonic
huge
the Hedgehog?
I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan.
Seriously?
I'm sad that he's a little into other.
He's a good actor.
There we go. He's a great actor and he's super fun to watch. So go watch. I mean, don't go watch. Whatever. Sonic the Hedgehog, fun movie.
Okay, we gotta run.
Yeah.
We're way over time.
We'll see you at the Endure conference.
Yes, come. It'll
And
be awesome.
God bless you guys.